Welcome everyone to the 1% Better podcast. This is where everyday Joe's investors and real estate agents try to get 1% better. And today we have our great guests on, Kate. Kate, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, super excited. Glad you could make it. So we'll just dive right into it. Tell the people who you are, what you do, a little bit of backstory.
Sure.
Yep.
My name is Kate Simon. I'm a real estate attorney mainly in Ames at Denton Davis Brown Law Firm. We are actually the largest. Denton's is the largest law firm in the world.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So Denton Davis Brown is like a sister company to them, or sister firm to them. So being an Iowa attorney, we can only take cases in Iowa unless you're licensed elsewhere. So it works well to be able to send cases to other states, things like that. So,
nice. And I just saw in your bio you went up to partner. What does that mean? That's pretty big, isn't it?
2 days now.
Okay,
Yes, starting
wow.
this year.
New
I'm
year.
a shareholder now, so technically a partner of the firm.
That's sweet. That's a
Yeah.
big deal. I think of Suits now of that. I go back to anything I've ever seen or like you or Logan do. I just refer back to Suits in my head.
Totally different. I'm not meeting people in dark alleys at midnight and like threatening them, but I have seen that show.
What do you think of it? Not very realistic.
No, but I do wish I had a photographic memory because that would actually be very helpful.
Be very helpful.
But no, I don't think it's very realistic otherwise.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how they do things in New York City. I do work with Brian Tracy, who's from New York, and he does jokingly say, let's like rough these people up to get them to pay. But no, that's not actually how we do things.
Hopefully I'm not one of those people.
No.
Okay.
It's usually not our own clients. It's usually people who he's joking, trying to help out clients. You know?
Okay. Well, I'll just keep that in the back of my head as my status quo for you guys.
Yeah. No. We love you.
That's great. Tell us a little bit about your backstory. Where do you go to school? I think you went to Drake. Where?
I did.
Where
I
is
went
that
to
like?
Drake Law.
Yep.
And before Drake Law, I went to Arizona State University. So I got a business and global politics undergrad degree, which how I came up with that, I think I thought I wanted to travel for companies at 21, and that's just not really how
Realistic.
Companies do things. They don't say, let's pick the newest person here and send them to India, right? So I realized I needed to go back to school to be able to do something else. And law school seemed to be a good option because I felt if I went and got my MBA, it would have been similar to having a business degree, and I still didn't know what to do with that. So yeah, with a JD, you don't have to be a lawyer, but I wasn't that creative to do something else with it. So I became an attorney. And Drake's good because if you want to practice law in Iowa, most people went to Drake. There's connections everywhere through the school and things like that. So it's a good school.
So 4 years at Arizona State, and then is it 4 years at Drake then?
Just 3.
Just 3. Okay.
Yes.
So you got out there in 7.
Yes, but 7 is still
Enough.
quite a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom said, if you're going to law school, you need to finish.
Yeah, I bet.
Which was, good advice.
The time commitment and probably what it cost you.
Yeah, no, totally.
So did you grow up in Iowa? Are you from here or implant here?
I grew up in Iowa.
Okay.
I went to Waukee High School.
Okay.
And my parents basically said, if you go anywhere other than Iowa or Iowa State, has to be where you have family. And I have an uncle who's a federal prosecutor in Arizona.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I was allowed to go there. And people ask me, is that why you went to law school?
Mm-hmm.
I honestly have no idea. I pin it more so to, I was trying to get in-state tuition by being an out-of-state student. And
There you go.
I remember my brother said, yeah, if you just live and work there for a year, you can get in-state tuition. Was not that easy. I had to go in front of like the board, and basically it was like a hearing without being a lawyer, and argue why I should get in-state tuition. And being 2019, it was, I'm sure, the worst argument I've ever made in my life. Like, and I was denied in-state. It's okay. Parents helped me pay for it, but still it would have been nice. So I don't know if that inspired me to figure out, how do people actually prepare and win these things?
Yeah. So it sounds like it kind of runs in your family though, a little bit.
Yeah.
With your uncle.
My uncle is an attorney, and then my cousin, who's his son, is a judge. And then there's me. So just the three of us.
Yeah, there you go. Probably fun family Christmases for sure.
Yes. It is interesting to talk with them about some cases that are going on. Yeah. Little different because they're in Arizona and I'm here, but yeah. What about you? Are you from a real estate family?
No, well, if you count farmland as real estate.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it kind of piqued my interest was like, my dad had worked like a corporate job his whole life, like manufacturing line his whole life. And he, I remember, I don't know if there was like tension in my family, but like '08 happened, and I still can like felt that tension at an early age. Cause it's like everything he'd worked for in his 401k went from this and then cut in half like overnight. And then I remember his like farmland, and then I was just like calculating numbers at an early age. I was like, holy shit. Like, this is kind of, you can build that over your life on just like almost passive income. Yeah. If not, that's farming's passive income, but it grows while you're sleeping, and it's not like you can control it. And so that like got me interested. And then from there I found Colin and just started like doing all the crazy stuff when I was 20, like trying to day trade, which was stupid. And I got into Bitcoin, and I never lost any money on it, but it was like, I would just like never sleep about it either. Cause like one day it'd go up like $5,000, the next day it'd go down 10. Yeah. It's like, goodness. And then I found Colin somehow. I think calling around Ames, and he was like the only person to talk to me. Yeah. And then from there I was like, okay, this guy, he's like, at the time he was like 30. I was like, holy shit, he has all this going at 30. It's like, I gotta just be around him. So then Colin's awesome. I quit my job and then moved back to Ames, and then the rest is history, I guess. So
I love it.
It's fun. I like, the big names like Hunzikers and Friedrichs in town. It's like they're multi-generational real estate people, and it is kind of tough getting into it. Like, kind of if you would ever get into farming, like there's no first generation farmers anymore. Yeah, no, totally. Yeah. I mean, you see that firsthand. I also do a little family law, and when we try to divide up the assets of farmers, they're like, well, my dad and I own this equally. It's like, okay, this isn't going to be easy. And lots of depreciation on those things. And so it gets interesting. So they kind of go hand in hand, which makes it helpful to know both areas. For sure. What made you get into the real estate path? Because that's like your forte. And that's how we work together quite a bit. How did you, because there's so many different angles I feel like you can go with law. Yeah, there is. And that's a good question. So I kind of told you how I like stumbled into being an attorney, basically. Same thing happened with real estate specifically. I started out doing general practice, and COVID hit, and it was at a really small law firm. And they basically said, it's going to be tough to keep everyone on. Like, we don't know what's going to happen. It ended up being fine. And I think everyone really just freaked out when they didn't know what was going to happen. I think they thought the world was stopping. So they said, everyone should fend for themselves, kind of thing. It's a small firm. So I did apply to like bigger law firms, and I went into solely family law. I was good at it. I knew it. And, of course, then when I left the small firm, they were like, why are you leaving? Yeah. You kind of told me. But at that point, it was a good opportunity. So I left and did only family law for 2 years, and I
I couldn't do it all day, every day. So I saw an opening for a real estate attorney at Denton's, and I had always thought real estate was interesting, dabbled in it very, very little.
How so?
Well, when you are doing divorces, you divide up the property, you talk about doing a quitclaim deed, looking up legal descriptions on the assessor's page. I also did some divorces where there were people doing what you're doing. They owned tons of flip properties, though more so than Airbnbs, flip properties. And it was constant. So trying to keep up with this guy who had, I don't know, 50 or more properties, and he'd flip them and sell them. And we tried to say, okay, we can't keep up with, where the money is going in, going out. We did a motion to preserve assets, which means the court says, stop selling. You can't sell anything. And
Really? They can do that?
They can. Well, he was ticked. He's like, this is my business. This is how I make money. So I just getting involved and then trying to find out properties coming in, coming out on the assessor's page. I found it really interesting. So I mainly I do a lot of real estate litigation now because I started out litigating family law, and then a lot of real estate attorneys don't litigate. So once you know how to litigate, and then you learn real estate litigation.
Litigate, you mean like talking in front of the court?
Yeah.
Like
that's lawsuits.
Lawsuits. Okay.
Right. So, I still do a lot of the title review, things like that, but I'm getting more and more into boundary disputes and breach of like commercial purchase agreements or lease agreements. Yep. We sue people on those, more foreclosures, representing people on both sides of the transaction. So
how many of those, is it more residential, or it sounds like you do more commercial? Because it's like, when I was an agent, that was everyone would say is like, I'll come after you. And maybe out of the people that I would say, like, you have a case here to go after this person because they just, hey, closing days in a week. And they're like, hey, I don't want to go along with it anymore just because they had a change of heart, which happens a lot more than you think. And you probably know that firsthand. Maybe like 1 out of 10 people would actually like fight back. They'd be like, hey, whatever, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Do you see that a lot more in residential or more commercial space?
That's a good question. I don't see a lot of people backing out, honestly. Yeah. Maybe once I'm involved, people are like, I know I can't do a lot here.
I don't have a chance here. I better
maybe it's more so when attorneys aren't involved. But when we do have to, do one or the other, commercial is a lot harder to get out of. I think the court holds commercial parties to a higher standard just because you
should know what you're doing if you're getting into that game.
I think that's really what they think. Whereas there's a lot of protections under the Iowa code for residential people.
For sure. Yeah, I know what you mean.
This is, they're more innocent.
Yeah. First time home buyer. Don't want to hurt someone that's buying their first house with 3 kids and so on and so forth.
Yeah. So, they still did sign the contract, but as an attorney, we always look for protections for them, or on the other side, try to really enforce the contract and avoid any protections.
Yeah.
Depends who you represent.
Oh, yeah. I had one, which I think I reached out to you about. It was, they made me go to what's like pre-court, like it's
mediation.
Mediation, yeah. And that was just a joke. Like, on my experience, it was like, this guy, I don't know what he's getting paid. He's probably ex-attorney, and he's just like, this is what they're saying. This is what they're saying. I just paid the $200 because I'm like, this isn't worth my time. That's what it was about. But I was like, I'll show up here because I want to learn something. Like, what is this all about? Like, because it's probably not going to be the last time, unfortunately. It was really like $200 over like a vent cover or something on a house. Like, I literally have to go to this for $200. Like, you're not going to bring someone to court from that. It's going to cost you more to file than what it's.
Yeah, I remember that situation, and you're required to do that before you can do anything else. So you're kind of stuck, even though you're like, why would I go to this when the cost is not even going to make the difference?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, and the courts will do that too. Often courts don't want to have you see a judge until you've at least tried to resolve it with a mediator. So for those, we get good mediators though, and try to just be done.
What would you, if someone's looking to be like, would you recommend what you do now for someone that's looking into it?
To be a real estate attorney specifically?
Or just an attorney overall?
Good question.
Maybe.
I would say real estate attorney, yes. As long as you have a good mentor, it is a really good area of law to be in. There are hard times as a family law attorney, I would say, and I'd probably recommend that less. There is a family law attorney at my firm, Tyler Coe, who loves family law, wears divorce lawyer hats around. He loves it, and I personally don't, but I do like helping people.
Yeah.
It's just a very emotional area of law. And I think that's probably why he really enjoys it, because it can be really rewarding. But every day you're helping people with the worst situation they've probably ever been in. And, you've got to always try to give them grace for how they're handling that. Every day, I think it's good. People say real estate attorneys are boring and family law is crazy. So doing both, I have
you have both experience.
Best of both worlds. But no, I do like being a real estate attorney.
I feel like it's like the worst thing that happens is Sam loses out on a house or something. Like in my head, that's like, which sucks. Like, yeah, you are talking hundreds of thousands of dollars in some cases and probably 7 figures, but there's a whole different set of emotions when you're talking about little Joey.
Totally.
Where's little Joey going to go for daycare? How many days is he going to spend with his mom versus dad and blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't have any kids, but I feel like that's just, it'd be a lot more stressful. Yeah,
such a good point, because it can be so ambiguous when you're trying to pick who's a better parent.
Oh, yeah.
For a judge. It's like, well, how, this is such a risk going in front of a judge. You do not know if that judge has their own, background biases about whatever it is that you did. And so honestly, it's a flip of a coin for some of these, but for real estate, it's like, well, you go get an appraisal. Yeah. Let's take the average or something, if you're arguing over values or whatever it is. I get into a lot of people suing their neighbors as well.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever had to deal with that?
Encroachment, like type of stuff. Like one case specifically I remember is like 2 neighbors. The one guy had built his fence not on his property line, on the neighbor's property line. It was like a foot or 2.
Yeah.
And it had been like that for 30 years.
Yeah.
And he'd been taking care of one side and the other guy's been taking care of his other side. And I guess it went all the way to the court about like a foot of boundary in someone's backyard. And essentially it's called like some type of easement. Yeah, I don't know.
An easement. So
some type of easement, like after so long, like the property line actually moved, even though the pins didn't say that, because that's what they had established based on who was maintaining it.
Boundary of acquiescence?
Probably. Okay. I don't know. It sounds right.
Yes. Yeah. Basically, we litigate that with boundary of acquiescence is like if there's a fence that was established, and at one point homeowners agreed that was the boundary line, and then it changes hands over time, and then someone's like, wait, this is my property.
Yeah.
Boundary of acquiescence basically says, no, that's the new boundary. Adverse possession, though, is also, I cared for this property for 10 years, and now you just all of a sudden want to take it back, even though it's legally yours. So yeah, we litigate that a lot too. But to your point, a lot of times it's like over a foot of property, and people will spend exorbitant amounts of money to fight for this. So yeah, those are interesting.
A foot of property probably in New York means a lot more than a foot in Iowa.
Like, right. Yeah.
Ames does have good property value prices, but I don't know about that good.
Yeah. Well, and also with the fence, I mean, the cost to move it or whatever you'd be wanting to do. Like,
Yeah.
it's easier to just establish, here we are.
A lot of egos.
Yeah.
A lot of egos.
Yeah. So it's interesting. Hopefully you don't have to deal with that very often.
I hope not.
But
No,
if so,
not yet.
give me a call.
Yeah. What are you think like some strategies? Because we're talking a lot about real estate. Like a first-time real estate investor should be doing to protect themselves, because a lot of people are calling you if it's usually the worst case scenario. It'd be nicer not to get to that worst case scenario if they can set up some protection. Do you have any just like basic 101 skills for people?
Good question. I always think people should do it right the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times people don't like to get attorneys involved. And this is really not a spiel to hire attorneys. It's so expensive when people do it wrong the first time, and then you get a lawyer involved, and then to fix it is just so much more difficult. I also like to coach people along the way, like for evictions or something. I'm like, let me help you, walk you through what to do, and you can go do the next one, you know? But I do just recommend people at least have a consultation to chat about whatever it is they need help with and get a general understanding of how to move forward. I think it's worth the, hour or whatever you spend.
Do you think it's worth, because like I used to hear a lot of people talk about like, okay, I'm buying my first rental property. I need to set up an LLC and put it in that LLC and set up the straight bank account. But then I've also heard people like, well, you're probably already kind of co-mingling the funds with Sam Brant in some way, because like that entity, it's not cash flowing. Like you buy a house these days and a couple $100 isn't going to fix your furnace when it goes out. So you're self-funding that LLC. Like, what are your thoughts on that specifically, on protection set up with LLC? Because I would get that question all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, I mean, usually I recommend them just because, there's different kinds of LLCs, the way you set it up for tax purposes. So there are some that you can act like a sole proprietor and be taxed a certain way, and still have the protections of the LLC. Yeah. So I like them. Okay. Yeah, because ultimately it's not so much as, well, I'm basically funding this whole thing myself. It's more of a defense, right? Like if something were to happen, I don't want to be personally liable.
Yeah. What do you think of the people, like I've had other people that create an LLC for every single property. So they buy 5 single families and they have 5 LLCs and then one coherent LLC governing the 5. What are your thoughts on that?
I think I see a lot of people too do like a parent LLC that kind of houses all of these. And again, it's for liability purposes.
It strengthens your defense, you think?
To have like a parent LLC. Well, usually those parent LLCs are guarantors under certain things anyways. But ultimately, if you've got many LLCs under it, there's way less ways to recover. Yeah. So it's just probably from a protection standpoint. Okay. Depends on what they've got the LLC for.
Gotcha.
Is it just for that specific house or Airbnb or whatever it is? Yeah.
Okay. At what stage of the game you think it's like worth setting up multiple LLCs? Like, is there a property number or a valuation number, or just
client preference? Okay. I guess it depends on whatever they're getting into.
Yeah. Maybe it doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, we chat about the risks, I guess, of what they're concerned of or what they're planning to use the property for. But not always necessary, obviously, if there's low risk.
Yeah.
It's a lot more filings.
It was all, well, every filing, then your your tax guy's got to file another $500, and you have another bank account to keep track of, and you have another credit card to keep track of, and now you have 5 properties. Now you have 5 different checkings accounts and 5 different credit cards, and you got to keep them all. It's just like kind of crazy, I think. Yeah. If some people do it, but maybe if they want to. Up to
Depends
them.
on the situation.
Yeah,
I
I don't know. It always seems like just a chaotic shit show if I did it like that. But some people do it, and I'm like, toots to you. Like, bravo.
I don't know why. Maybe they're concerned with what could potentially happen.
Yeah. Do you work with anything? Personal question. Do you work with any like syndicators or anything like that, like setting up their entities?
What do you mean?
Like syndication. So like they have a general operator is how I've had it explained. And then you can then legally pool people's money together to go out and purchase this 100 unit apartment building.
Oh, I personally have never worked with anyone who's done that. But sure, like an investment situation. Yeah. Sure. I mean, we'd probably be hired by the LLC that they're investing in or something like that. And that would be our client. So however the funds are commingled usually isn't part of our representation. We're more so assisting on the sale or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know. You're probably more like obviously the commercial agreements, and then you do anything with development?
A little bit.
Yeah.
My fiance is in development.
Mm-hmm.
He works with his brother at Temple Real Estate Construction. So, that's how I've gotten involved, working more so on, reviewing contracts like that. But those are very interesting. Litigating those can get really technical because there's contractors and then there's subcontractors. And so those need to be definitely looked at by a lawyer, I would say, just because a lot of those properties get so expensive too. Mm-hmm. And then mechanics liens get filed and it's a mess.
I bet.
So but it is interesting, part of the real estate, knowing how to, again, there's differences with residential and construction or commercial properties. Contractors are held to totally different standards for residential properties than they are for commercial. Yeah. So again, speak with a lawyer.
We'll put your bio at the bottom.
Yeah, great.
No, that's great. What's the big, has there been like a big learning curve in that for you, like compared to the two?
Yeah. I mean, that's the best part about my firm is we have tons of people there with a lot more experience than I do, and we can work together on these matters. So I do, when I was first helping out, I would loop in somebody else at my firm, Sean Reich, Mike Richards, and they have been doing a lot of these a lot longer than I have. But you do start to get, the hang of it. A lot of these development projects use AIA contracts or something. I don't know if you're familiar with those.
I was actually going to ask you if you use AI in your industry and what that looks like.
Well, AI is different than AIA. AIA is the type of contract. It's a construction contract essentially.
Okay.
And they're pretty standard. So you change certain terms of it per what the client needs, but otherwise they're all the same. So once you're familiar with that contract, you're familiar with it, but totally different than AI.
Yeah. Well, I literally have on like my GTPs on chat. Like I took like 10 minutes and said, create me a settlement / real estate lawyer on ChatGPT. And I'll just throw random stuff in there, but it doesn't always read the contracts through as I want. Yeah. And so like it will just miss stuff. But do you use any type of chat, like a Chat GTP or Perplexity, or are you even allowed to use it?
Yeah, we're allowed. I don't know if you, maybe just, this is really prevalent if you're a lawyer, but the Supreme Court has been sanctioning attorneys when they use it and then Chat GPT spits out an incorrect case that it says it found. So literally, judges have also been sanctioned because they'll put in an order, a case that they pulled from ChatGPT, and it's not a real case.
Oh, wow.
And so it's pretty big in our industry. We are allowed to use it, but we have to fact check. So we have to go back and make sure it's all right. I've used it for fun as well, and it'll usually tell me you should speak with an attorney on that. I'm like, well,
yeah, there you go.
But that's just for like things I do for fun. But yeah, we definitely have to be careful because you will get in trouble, and people have lost I think they're losing their licenses over using incorrect information. So, but yes, we can use it. At our firm, we have an option to use this program called Harvey that also you can like put in a document and make sure the math is correct or something.
Nice.
So that's usually pretty accurate. But again, it's like basically like a paralegal. Yeah. Can you check what I already did? It should not be,
first line of defense.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Sure. So
interesting. Yeah. Because I know like I have some friends that work at different corporate jobs and they're not even allowed to use it because like I have a friend that works at Cargill and they're not even allowed to use anything outside of like their in-house AI because they're afraid it's going to steal their info.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yikes. Well, I mean, I think if we do use it, it's private. So it's not, we're not putting information into like your public.
Yeah.
Grok or whatever. It's all protected and we pay for it. Okay. So it's a, database that just is for us. And then 2, if clients are okay with us using it, I think it saves them some money potentially. I think we charge them for part of the service to use the program, but if it saves me an hour of proofreading or something, I don't know.
It all helps.
Yeah.
It all helps.
Yeah, it depends on the client.
Yeah. Well, you can put my name at that list. It's
You're okay.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
It's fine with me.
Sweet.
What motivates you today? I feel like you have a lot going. Like you just made your partnership. What motivates you now today in your work or personal life?
Well, that was definitely a motivating factor. You at our firm, you go on this 2-year look back. So when you're working towards shareholder status and basically you're up for vote. So I got voted into the firm to be a shareholder. So that's very stressful.
Yeah.
And I'm on day 2. So now looking ahead, I do have to kind of reshift my goals. Because once you make a goal, you got to set
a new one.
New ones.
Yeah.
So that's a good question, but I think it would be more so probably narrowing my practice. It is as an associate before you're shareholder, kind of taking projects that you're given and doing it, right? Because somebody told you to. But as a shareholder, you can more so say what cases you will and will not take and delegate others. So I'd love to probably narrow it down to more areas of real estate that I enjoy.
Yeah.
Which I enjoy all areas of real estate, but probably do less family law.
Yeah. Are you like a big vision board person, or you write down your goals, or like, do you do any of those little hacks per se that?
I don't do any of those, but I would say manifesting is something that I like to think about. So at least having an idea in your head of where you want to go, what you want to do.
Yeah.
I don't write it out, but it's up there.
What, just like on your drive to work, or what? You don't have like a breath work routine or anything like that you do?
No, but I listen to podcasts.
Okay.
And so if I'm, trying to learn more about something in real estate, I will find a podcast on it or a book, and just keep working towards bettering, the area that I'm in. Once you find what you like to do, which for me is real estate law, then just growing and constantly building on that is a good place to be.
Yeah.
If you're still lost in the figuring out what kind of law to do, which I was in until like 4 years ago, then it's hard to grow on that because you're just always searching for
sure.
a base level. Yeah. So, that's a good question. I need to think on that, but it's probably, like I said, just getting better now at what I like to do.
Doesn't have to be anything fancy. I feel like sometimes the vision boards, like I think for some people they work and it's different for every single person, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there has to be a right or wrong answer.
I think it's still, like manifesting, where as long as you either think about it every day or if you physically need to see it every day, it's a reminder that you should work towards it that day.
Yeah.
Are you a vision board person?
I'll do like a one sheet. So it's like just like the 7 pillars of my life that I want to achieve this year. So not just like I want to flip this many houses or make this much money or whatever. Like it's fitness and then spiritual and relationships and friends and my spouse and personal development. So I think it's good when they're broken out in those pillars so then I can see like, hey, what are my different goals for this year?
Yeah.
Based on that. But I don't have like a huge vision board of like actual like pictures of things. It's all just like written down. So.
Yeah, I like that. And obviously it's working out for you.
Some days, yeah. Some days. It is cool looking. What I really like about it is looking back like 3 years ago and being like, oh, that was my goal 3 years ago. And this is what I'm doing now. Like that's how life changes like just so quickly. And what you thought was hard 5 years ago is now like super easy.
Yeah. When I walked in to work today, my business partner was like, hey partner, how's it feel? And I'm like, literally no different. Like it takes a minute to even soak in that you reached the goal.
Yeah.
Because you work so hard for it. And then you have to look back and remember, why did I work so hard for this? But it's worth
like
it.
you 5 years ago were like that was your ultimate goal probably.
Right.
It was like crazy to ever think about being a partner at a huge firm.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. And 5 years ago, I only had 2 or 3 years of experience as a lawyer. So you're very much just trying to get by day to day. Like thinking about goals is like, well, I'll do that later. So, but I think it's still important to set them.
For sure.
So then you can look back.
Yeah. You're a big New Year's resolution person or no?
I have been in the past, so I am engaged, and as you know,
congratulations.
Thank you. Planning a wedding
this year or
this year.
This year, wow.
And building a house.
There you go.
My New Year's resolutions are to get through those two things.
That's big. That's a big year.
So and work a full-time job. So I mean, it is a lot. We were gonna do a farm tent wedding, like you had done. I saw, but I think building the venue from the ground up in Iowa, not knowing our weather, looks like you guys had beautiful weather.
Hot. It was really hot. It was like 95.
Okay.
Yes, but at night it was perfect. It was perfect at night. But like when I was standing up there, felt like I ran a marathon. Like it was so hot.
Yeah, and you're nervous probably. No, we decided to just book an indoor venue.
Smart.
I was freaking out.
Yeah, you can't mess that up.
No.
Can't mess that up.
And it's not cheap, so I'm like, well, if the weather's total crap, then we're just gonna have to throw away all this money, I guess. I don't know what to do.
Do you have a date yet in mind?
September 26th.
Good time of year.
Of 2026.
There you go.
Yeah.
Come faster than I didn't really do much in my wedding, so like I had it pretty easy. Like picking the stuff out and coordinating. I was like, I had like a few things I wanted to do, like the food and like obviously your guest lists and the major things, but all the small stuff I was like, holy cow, there's a lot more. I feel like also after your wedding, at least I appreciate them a lot more.
Yeah.
From the other side, because I've been in weddings before, and like when you're a groomsman in a wedding, you're just like there to have a good time. Like yeah, obviously you're there to celebrate your friends and their wedding, but it's like there's not really any pressure. You walk up the aisle, you walk back, you're done. But now as like that ceremony coming together, it's like, holy cow, it's a lot of emotion, and like the best 250 people or 300 people or 100 people that mean the most to you in your entire life, and it's like that will probably never happen again.
Probably not.
No.
No, I completely agree. I officiated my friend's wedding last year.
Oh, wow.
And that was also very interesting.
How did that go?
I think I was chosen because I'm a lawyer, and I think she assumed that I was good at public speaking.
Yeah.
And totally different though.
Oh, yeah.
Like arguing a case that you've worked on for months is totally different than calling someone's friends and family and asking them personal questions and then presenting that in the most thoughtful and loving way as you can.
Yeah.
It's not the same as being a lawyer.
No.
Kind of, but not really. So it was a bit stressful, but it's a good experience. Again, I was honored she asked me, and I wanted to check it off a bucket list item kind of thing. So I'm like, sure.
I don't know if I would. Depends who it was. I guess that would be hard to say no to that, though, probably.
Yes, I think she wanted me to stand up there, but they were only having siblings stand with them. So it was a way to have me up there as well. So it's like, if you don't do it,
yeah,
you're just in the crowd.
At least you're part. Yeah, that is cool, though.
So we did it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Speaking of the podcast, what podcast do you listen to these days? Anything in specific, or are you just jumping around?
Well, when I am looking for something that I'm trying to get better at with my practice, I will just search. But so that's super random. But if I'm just deep diving on random topics, The Skinny Confidential is really.
What's that about? Skinny Confidential? Never heard that one.
Well, it's called the Him and Her podcast, actually. So it's Lauren and Michael Bostic. They're this married couple that will interview anyone and everyone. So they talk about health and wellness, random things like what minerals you should be taking. They'll deep dive on whether your cell phone should be sleeping next to your head.
I'd probably have mine too close.
Whatever. So they talk about with celebrities about gossip, or it's just all over the place, which is why I like it, because you could kind of find anything. But that's probably my go-to.
Okay, I'll have to look that up. I've never heard of it.
Yeah. What about you?
I've been listening to more Audible books lately. Like I started listening to Brene Brown's Dare to Lead. It's a good book. I've read it, but I've never listened to it. So right now I'm kind of rereading things I've already read.
Okay.
Which has been, and I usually don't like doing that. Like I'd never like watching a movie twice almost. Or like watching a show twice or whatever. But I'm like, well, let's just pick it back up again and see what it means to me this time. So like the very first professional like personal development book I read was Think and Grow Rich by Robert Kiyosaki. And I just reread that again like last month. And I was like, wow, that's a ton of good points. And now you're like 5 years ahead and you can like view things back differently than you were when you were first getting started. So those actual podcasts though anymore, I don't really listen to any. I've kind of switched my view all to the Audible books, because sometimes in a podcast, unfortunately, you'll just get a lot of jibber jabber.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, I really don't want to listen to Joe Rogan's hour about his day.
Right.
And so, yeah, but like during COVID, I listened to that all the time. Like that was my one news source, my one light that I would believe. So.
Yeah. I would reread Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey over and over and over. I love that book.
His stories in there are crazy.
I know. And he is really good about manifesting.
Yeah.
What did he do? Write out the 10 things he wanted. And then I think he went and got all of those things, which is impeccable. But so I like that book a lot.
I love his stories with his brothers, because I have two brothers growing up. And so like all of his stories with his brothers, like I could see the shit me and my brothers would do, like, but not to that extreme, because his like dad was involved in it too. like the story when his dad bet him like if he could pee like 8 feet over the guy's head, he like bet him a dirt bike or something.
Yeah.
And he went back into his house and picked it up his brother and like made him drink 2 Cokes, and he ended up peeing 9 feet over the guy's head. But like that's gnarly.
Yeah.
He was like even like pushing them to do more crazy shit.
Right. I relate to him as well, because he studied abroad. And I studied abroad for a year, so his store completely different experiences mostly, but we did both have one very obscure host family, and so like hearing him, I think he ate like ketchup and lettuce every day or something.
It was weird. Yeah.
But yes, so
where do you study abroad at?
I studied abroad in Hamburg, Germany.
Okay.
With the Rotary International. Their names, actually. I joined that group too. But just for a year after high school. No college credit.
Yeah.
Just went there.
Wow. For a whole year?
Yeah.
So how was Oktoberfest then? Is that crazy?
Hamburg is very north Germany, and Oktoberfest is in Munich, which is really south.
Okay.
So I was only allowed, I was 18, but still my host family was like, you're not traveling, I don't know, 8 hours or however far it is to get there. But they have mini Oktoberfest throughout. So I think I went to a small one. Okay. But I can't tell you how the real one is. I'm sure it's amazing.
Probably. I'd love to go to that. That seems like a blast.
Yeah. And wear the dirndl or the whatever the guys lederhosen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I studied abroad. It was supposed to be for 6 months, but thank God it got cut short because COVID, because I was spending way too much money over. And I went to Greece for 3 months. And
it was supposed to be 6?
It was supposed to be 6. But we got sent back in March because COVID, like abruptly. It was like, first when we got there in January, there was this guy on our trip, Paul from University of Illinois. He's like, yeah, I just see that this like COVID is coming out, like it's spreading to different countries. And we're like, shut up, Paul. Like no one cares. And then like 2 months later, Paul's a great guy.
Yeah.
2 months later, it was like, oh, you're going to be like no classes for 2 weeks. And then like 2 hours later, Trump was like, we're shutting down the borders. And so thank God I got back because there was like all those like huge flight delays and like people getting stuck in Chicago O'Hare. I got back like 16 hours before that. So it was a 48 hours of travel. Nightmare.
Bummer you got sent, but I know you're like, it's a good thing, but that sounds sad to me.
Yeah, we had a lot of cool trips planned. That was like the Mykonos Islands, and those would have been a lot of fun, but it was bad for my bank account.
You can go back.
Yeah.
What year in college were you?
A junior. Okay. Junior spring semester.
Okay. Well, yeah. So, I mean, did you finish the semester out online then?
Yeah, but it was pointless.
That's what I mean.
Like Greece, their culture over there is like, so for a class, a 3-hour class is first you show up 15 minutes late. And then you maybe have class for 45 minutes. Then you have a 30 to 45 minute sabbatical. So all the students leave, they go back to their dorms. And then you come back for a class for maybe 30 minutes. Then you get left class 15 minutes early. So they don't really, in my opinion, there are people that work really hard over there, but it's very laid back. Like probably a 30-hour work week is like to the max.
Yeah.
So that was very eye-opening.
Yeah. I don't know. Some days I feel like that's how it should be.
Whatever you,
Yeah.
I think for me, it's fun, like going and like striving for those goals like we talked about. But other times it's like, nice sabbatical in the middle of the day. Sounds all right. Yeah.
Right. I think part of the like allure of becoming shareholder is you technically your hours are less, so you should be able to work less. At the idea that you can mentor more, but we'll see if that comes to fruition. I doubt it. That's, I think, the idea.
Yeah. So the whole part of being a shareholder, going back to my Suits reference, that's the only reason I know, is like, so now you're almost like a part owner of the law firm.
Right.
Yeah. And you get percentages based on what income and clients and cases you bring in.
Right.
Okay. That's what I thought, which is cool. Is it specific to the Iowa or your branch, or is it because like Denton's is so big? How do they do that?
Yeah. So the benefit of being with Denton's is if another state or another country has an issue in Iowa, they send it to us and we help them with it, and then we get credit and can be compensated for it. So yeah, that's mainly the reason we transitioned. We used to be Davis Brown law firm. Yep. And I think in 2020, I think around COVID, we made the transition. So a lot of people know us still as Davis Brown, but it's the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So that was pretty recent.
Yeah.
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 Because I only know Brian through dealing with like Keith. And so what does he kind of oversee the Ames branch? He
does. He was the only shareholder in Ames before I was elected, and then there's only 3 attorneys over there. So
oh wow,
me, Brian, and Logan.
Cool.
Yeah.
Fun area. I always love going in there.
Yeah.
I used to come in all the time, but now I don't as much. But when why can't I think of her name? Not Elvira or
Destiny.
When she was at the front desk, I'd always chat it up with her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Or Elizabeth.
Yeah, Elizabeth. Yeah, I would always chat it up with her. She was great.
Yeah.
Does she not work there anymore?
Something with her health occurred.
Oh, okay.
But she is okay.
Okay.
Yes, but good. She does not right now for that reason.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
Things happen. Personal question, if that's okay with you. I love asking this one. If I gave Kate a blank check and 12 months off, what problem would you go solve?
That is a very good question. Problem I would go solve. I mean, if I could do anything, I'd probably still use my law degree. Mm-hmm. Me and my fiance have always said, if money wasn't a factor, I should go work on the Innocence Project. Okay. Have you heard of that? It's like where there's a nonprofit organization that looks into people who are in prison and have been in prison for many, many years. Okay. And then looks into their case to see if they were wrongfully convicted. Wow. And then tries to, I think it's what Kim Kardashian works on sometimes too. Tries to
didn't know she had her law degree.
She doesn't. She didn't pass the bar yet, but her status as a
she's actually working
person,
on it.
She can, help advocate for these people in that capacity with attorneys.
Oh, okay.
But I've always thought that would be super interesting. But I think you'd have to live in New York or something.
Yeah. You can do a lot of things remote anymore.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I definitely want to work under a program like that though. So I don't know if they would assist with me being in Iowa, but I've always thought that was an interesting program.
Speaking of New York, I don't know why I just thought of this. Isn't it crazy? Like you talk to someone from New York and they think Iowa's just like, they don't even know where it is. Like we're some barbaric state out there in the middle of nowhere.
When I lived in Germany, my other exchange student friend was from New York, and every kid in our German high school thought, even though she was from Syracuse, which is North New York or upstate New York, they immediately thought New York City. And so they'd be like, oh, that's so cool. That's really amazing. Then they'd look at me and they're like, are you from New York too? And I'd be like, no, I'm from Iowa. And they're like, oh, so New York, how is New York? Like totally disregard it. So my friend was like, okay, you have to tell people something else. So we started telling people that Iowa was an island in Hawaii.
And they believed it.
And then we'd list the islands. We'd be like, there's Kauai, there's Iowa, there's Maui. And they'd be like, oh my God, that's amazing. So yeah, I mean, I had to do it. I was getting just blown over.
And it's funny, like they didn't second guess you at all.
No, they believed it.
Like, oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, the U.S. gets a lot of hate for not knowing geography, but they were, they had no idea.
At least I feel like unless really small countries, I could at least kind of point out the general vicinity where they're at.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
know?
to be fair, that was asking them to not only know Hawaii, but then like the islands. So
For sure. I asked the same 3 questions at the end of every podcast, lightning round.
Okay.
We kind of already talked about it, but what's your favorite book or podcast you'd recommend outside the one you already shared?
Well, book, my favorite is Green Lights, but like I said, manifesting. I got on manifesting because I found Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Oh yeah, Joe Dispenza guy.
Isn't he interesting?
He is very interesting.
He like got in a car accident on his bike, and they told him, you need all these surgeries, you'll not walk.
Yeah.
And just by thinking, maybe it's delusion. I really don't know.
Could be a little bit.
He didn't get any of the surgeries and is fine. And he claims it's like through manifesting. So I think he's a little crazy, but also I like it.
I think you kind of have to be a little crazy though, you know, like extreme examples, but like Elon Musk, like who would ever want to go through that? Like,
I've always
it sounds cool to be a multi-trillionaire or whatever he is, but like the crap he has to deal with every day and the emotions and like the 1,000 people that their lives depend on him if he's going to take this rocket up in the air is like, you almost have to be delusional to think that you want to do that.
He could just chill with his money too.
Yeah, like a long time ago, like after PayPal, you know, like, or even what he started before PayPal. And he was like, well, I'm going to bet everything I have in life on this electric car.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. No, I completely agree. So, I think it helps. Also, like the quote, fake it till you make it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, be a little delusional. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck.
Mm-hmm. Ask for help, for sure.
Yeah.
What's something people often get wrong about your industry?
Probably that we don't care. Or maybe I feel
What do you mean?
I feel like maybe more so with my family law clients, but like, to me, it's more than a job. Like when I have a client, I do get invested in what they're dealing with. And I think sometimes maybe they think that people don't care or lawyers don't care.
You're just money hungry, just trying to rack up the hours. Is that what they think?
Yeah. At my last job, which was a corporation, they interviewed clients after, their cases were over, and constant feedback was clients were like, I feel like Kate really does care about my case. So that was really helpful because I do care.
Yeah.
And that's also why it's a tough area of law to be in. But I think it can come across that we don't care and just want to get the deal done or whatever. But for me, that is not the case. So I hope it comes across that way.
No, I think you're doing great. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Sam.
What's one underrated skill that's helped you win besides manifesting? You can't pick that.
Okay. I think being able to, in all aspects of life, public speak to an extent, right? It's helped not only with being able to help my friend at her wedding, but if you can be the smartest person as a lawyer, but can't get your point across or communicate it well, then having it in your brain is totally useless. So being able to public speak is a huge asset. So if anyone struggles with that, I would say work on that.
Have you always been very articulate, or like has that something you worked on?
No, I still constantly work on it.
Yeah.
No, it's a constant thing that you have to perfect, and I'm not perfect at it by any means, but I think if knowing that it's useful to keep working on it.
For sure.
Yeah.
There you go. Back to your manifesting.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. How can someone find you? How can they reach out to you if they want to ask you a, real estate law related question or anything under your manifesting journey?
Yeah. If they go to our Denton's website, I think it's dentons.us. You can search all the attorneys on there. My name's Kate Simon. I'm in Iowa. It'll have my email, my phone number, all of that's on there, and reach out however you want. And we can try to help you. Or if I can't help you, like I said, we have tons of attorneys. I think there's 75 of us in Iowa at our firm doing all areas of law. So I'm sure we could help somehow.
Perfect. Well, thanks for being on. This is great.
Yeah, thanks, Sam. It's so fun.
Yeah.